Hello folks, if history is any indication, we might be only a few months away from the first real-world visual leak of Samsung's next big thing. Of course, the Galaxy S23 is unlikely to actually see daylight until 2023, but why should you wait that long when you can already get a pretty clear picture of how the Snapdragon 8 Gen 2 powered giant will look? If you have an S22 Ultra nearby, you can almost say you are looking at the unreleased S23 Ultra. Neat trick, huh? That's right, ladies and gents, it sounds like the Galaxy S23 Ultra and its predecessor could be identical from behind, at least at first glance, and do we choose to believe Ice Universe. This is one of the most time-honored and altogether reliable sources of inside information on unannounced Samsung products. As highlighted by the popular Twitter leaker himself, this complete lack of cosmetic changes to the rear camera module isn't necessarily a bad thing. That is, if you agree that the current flagship design is simple and natural, and you're not pining for the slightly more elaborate camera setups of the S21 Ultra, S20 Ultra and S10 Plus. In terms of subtler changes, Ice Universe seemingly expects the curvature of the fuselage to be revised, which would essentially give birth to flatter edges and a potentially boxier overall appearance. He says the biggest change of the S23 Ultra is the increase in the width of the middle frame, which means that the curved part of the glass will be reduced. Keep in mind that the Galaxy S23 Ultra was tipped just a few days ago to more or less maintain the physical dimensions, battery capacity, screen size and resolution of the S22 Ultra, which is once again not necessarily a reason to be bitterly disappointed. The general expectation remains that the primary shooter on the S23 Ultra's back will be substantially upgraded from the 108 megapixels imaging sensor, by no means etched in stone. The titillating 200 megapixels rumor still stands, as does the expectation for an unchanged secondary 10 megapixels periscope telephoto lens with 10x optical zoom support. The other two rear-facing snappers are more or less shrouded in secrecy, although the first whispers seem to be pointing in the direction of little to no obvious changes for the S22 Ultra's remaining 10 megapixels telephoto and 12 megapixels ultra-wide-angle cameras. Then you have a single 40 megapixel selfie shooter that's unlikely to go the under-display route. And as far as under-the-hood upgrades are concerned, a Snapdragon 8 Gen 2 processor, that sounds positively dreamy, especially with no underwhelming Exynos counterpart to fall on in European or Asian territories. As for the S23 and S23 Plus, Ice Universe claims they have the same design as the S22, even the middle frame has not changed.